So it's Friday. We have new content in MLB The Show 25 Diamond Dynasty, and I feel like this content update is going to frustrate a lot of people. But specifically with one program they released today. But regardless, as we always do, we're going to go over it, and I will give you guys my thoughts on that program in this video. So let's get into it. As always, we start these videos by looking at the calendar. So today we got double XP week. They do this at the end of every XP reward path program. If you don't have your bosses yet, I highly recommend grinding this week because they're going to go away. 20 in June, that is the program that I feel like a lot of people are going to be frustrated with. May Spotlight, of course, we get that every Friday. My Yankees got another Spotlight card, which is kind of crazy, and Will Warren, he's been amazing. There is obviously a new pack with that, with new cards that are also looking pretty good. We got Brian Dozier on Tuesday. I mentioned him in my pack opening that I did on Tuesday. Coming up soon. There's a lot of content this week. And of course, it's right when I start working. But anyway, there's a lot of content coming this week on June 4th. It's already June. Wow. On June 4th and June 6th. So Wednesday and Friday, we have double the show live. So they're going to be going over a lot of stuff. But on Wednesday, all it says is a flash of the past. That makes me think of either retro lightning or like retro something. Maybe like the show classics. I think we had like the show classics program once in a previous year. We had those cards in MLB like 2021. I don't really know, but we'll see what that is on Wednesday. On Friday, we have the new XP reward path. We have the 4th inning. We have the 3rd weekend classic. We have the May Lightning cards as well. So I'm going to start with the Spotlight program today. So we have Will Warren, like I mentioned, from my Yankees. And overall, this card doesn't look awful, but he doesn't look great, in all honesty. 4-seam sweeper, sinker, circle change, curveball. That's a great pitch mix. The control is pretty good. The break is very good. Could use a little more velocity, but he throws hard enough where he won't be awful. The speed differentials are there across the board, I would say. The hits per 9 for this stage in the year is a little low at 86, but you could also say that a guy like John Donaldson has lower hits per 9, but also John Donaldson has an outlier slider. So, I mean, not really a fair comparison, but, hits per 9 is a little low. Pitching clutch is 88. It's a little higher, but still kind of low. Ks per 9 is good at 99, though. This is a decent card. Not an amazing card, but a decent card. The Tops Now cards, we have Robert Hassel III from the Nationals. I mean, pool noodle of a bat. Just over 80 for both contacts and clutch. Defensively, he'll be good. He'll be in the gold across the board at all 3 outfield positions. He has 90 speed as well. So, I mean, maybe a bench guy defensively and speed. And then we have a Nick Enright, who's a reliever, 4-seam slider, circle change, 106, 105 per 9s, 108 clutch, 70 velocity, so he doesn't throw hard. And he actually throws 93 on the 4-seam. Decent speed differentials, bad control, good break. I mean, this is a good free reliever that takes 5 minutes to get, so you can't really complain about this. But the other Tops Now card is kind of trash. There is an optional extreme moment, and this is my Yankees. I thought that they might do this. So when the Yankees played the Rockies last weekend, they freaking lost the first game, of course. But the second game, it was 1-1, 2-1. No, I think it was 1-1, and they had a 10-run inning. It was their second 10-run inning of the year. And that's what this moment is. Can you score 10 runs without registering 3 outs? So it's hard, but you'll basically get the program done if you do all the other moments too. Now moving to the show shop, let's go over the May Spotlight pack. So for the Spotlight cards, we have a 92 Gavin Sheets. Destroys righties, 98, 114 power. Not the best against lefties, 72, 84. 100 clutch helps him versus lefties, but if you have nobody on base and you're hitting with a lefty, he's not going to be that effective, especially with that low vision and discipline if you're playing on Hall of Fame or Legend or GOAT. Defensively, also not amazing, but if you throw him at first, really isn't a big deal. He has a decent arm, though, if you put him in the outfield, but really bad speed for the outfield. We have Isaac Paredes. I love his swing in this game. He has reverse splits, 101, 104 versus right, 84, 87 versus left. So he's good enough against lefties where he won't be terrible, but he won't be anything amazing. 100 clutch definitely helps him versus lefties. Can play third, first, and second, so he has great defensive flexibility. Probably not going to be a good third baseman. I would see this card more as a first or second baseman with that 64 arm strength. You know, it hurts. It doesn't make the card bad at third, but I see this card more as a first or second baseman. Moving on to the tops now cards, we have Yorbeat Vivas. He's also on my Yankees have been getting a lot of cards recently, I'm not going to lie. Second, third, short, gold defense. He'll be silver at the secondaries unless you superfractor him. Okay speed in the high 60s. I mean, across the board, nothing too special on offense. We have Ty France. I forgot that he was still in the league, but he hit a walk-off homer for the Twins. So 96, 81 contact, 81, 55 power, 120 clutch. Yeah, that makes this card pretty valuable. I mean, he doesn't have great offensive numbers, but if you put him on your bench and you need a clutch single in a clutch moment, he can help because he has 120 clutch. I mean, he can't do anything else. He has no defense, can only play first, but that clutch is certainly good. And then the last card is this Dalen Lyle from the Diamondbacks, or not the Diamondbacks, the Nationals. Good contact, good clutch, good vision, good defense, good speed. You know, not a bad card. So we did not get a new headliners. We also, the Moonshot packs were removed from the store. But we got another chase card, which is kind of interesting because the Acuna only lasted a week. And it's a Bautista. This card is gross. I mean, in my honest opinion, I mean, obviously we don't know what his price is going to be yet because it's been out for 5 minutes, so you can probably disregard this price. Is this card probably the best reliever in the game? Yeah. But no reliever is worth 200k in this game at this stage of the year. Maybe later in the year when stubs are, you know, a lot easier to obtain and people have been making a lot of stubs off roster updates and they, you know, parlay that into the next roster update. But right now, unless you just have stubs to burn like I kind of do, I wouldn't buy this Bautista for that price. I would sell it. But I mean, you can make whatever decisions you want, but just on paper, this card is amazing. 115, 118 per nines, 125 clutch. He has outlier on the four seam, and they gave him a sinker. Yeah, they gave this card a sinker. Four seam splitter, slider, sinker. Control is meh, break is really good, but I mean, this is a pretty gross card. So finally, let's get into the 20 in June program. Basically, how this program works is there's this 95 Sammy Sosa, which I'll get into in a little. But basically how this works is you cannot acquire this Sammy Sosa card until June 30th. So this card was added to the game, but you can't get him for a month. Now, we've seen things like this in the past. We had retro lightning cards in MLB 22 that were in the game in the beginning of the month, and then you had to wait the whole month before you could get them. We had a program called Daily Moments, which I'm going to talk about in a little, in MLB 21. That was basically this. But it's interesting because they're going to be releasing moments every single day that he hit a home run in the month of June 1998. And you just have to do all the moments and these 3 missions, and you'll get this Sammy Sosa on June 30th. So that's how the program works. This is the Sammy Sosa card. He looks really good. 192 contact, 125, 102 power with 101 clutch. Silver defense, solid arm, decent enough speed, can play right and center. So this card alone looks pretty good. Obviously the vision is low and the discipline is really low. But this card looks, he's going to be a great outfielder. But it brings up, this is all we got outside of Spotlight and Pack players today. The Spotlight will take 30 to 45 minutes, and the rest of the content is pack cards. It's kind of frustrating that they advertise a new program when you can't even play the new program, and I know people are going to have a problem with it. On the other hand, you know, the whole thing with the daily moments that I was going to mention was in MLB The Show 21, how daily moments were. They had a program every single month that was literally just like this. They would have a card. It wouldn't be at the end of the program, but it would be around 2/3 of the way. So, like, there was a Zach Britton card that was really good, and he was at 20 points, and it was like 30 points for the whole program. Every day you had a moment, you would do the moment, and then if you got 20 of the 30 done, you would get the card. So we've had this in the past, and people really liked daily moments, but you know, this is a similar concept, but it's a little different because it's going to be at the very end of the month. When we had daily moments, if you were on the game every day, you would get it, you know, a little over halfway through in the month, and so it would only be around like 2.5 weeks before you could get the card. This is a full 30 days that we have to wait and just look at this card, which, you know, I could see why people would be frustrated. So yeah, that's going to be for this video. If you guys are new here, follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, but most importantly, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. So yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.